Hi, Nolan. Good to see you. A really important conversation today for anybody who is retiring in a bear market. They need to be aware of something called sequence risk. Stocks officially entered a bear market earlier this year. The 60/40 portfolio saw the second worst 6-month period in 50 years, with both stocks and bonds declining. So, retiring right now presents very unique challenges. And if not handled correctly, you could jeopardize your retirement savings because of something that's known as sequence risk. What is that?
So, Aaron, sequence risk is the risk that your portfolio suffers pretty significant losses early on in your withdrawal years. Now, there are a couple different parts that we really need to pick apart there, but some key elements are significant losses and in your withdrawal years. So,
Hmm.
most people hear that if the market crashes, it recovers, and we'll kind of get into that in a moment. But this chart right here shows you that over a 15-year period with the same average annual return, it does really depend on when you get those returns on how well your portfolio will do over that period. So on the left, what we show you is somebody who's earned 4% per year, but their positive years were early on. They're withdrawing 5%. And at the end of 15 years, they have a little over $100,000 left. On the right, same returns, but we just flip the numbers where they have losses early on in their portfolio and the positive numbers come later on down the road. Person number two only has 36,000 left in their portfolio at that
That's
point.
incredible.
It really is. And this does happen. I mean, a really good example of this would be using 2000 and 2008. I mean, if you had retired in the year 2000 or 2001 and then went through two really significant market crashes within a 10-year period, it can definitely harm your retirement. So
Right.
it's reducing the potential for loss in those early years that allows a lot of retirements to do quite well over a 20 or 30-year period.
And I think it's also this graph I love, Nolan, because I would think a 50% loss, you need a 50% gain, but that's not how this math works.
Right, exactly. And what this shows you is for the increased losses, you need to come back further and further just to get back
Hmm.
whole.
Hmm.
And if you have a 30 or 40% loss in your portfolio, and then you also withdraw 5 or 10% during that time, you have to have tremendous recovery while you're also withdrawing just to get back whole to where you were. So, sequence risk, it's not all about taking advantage of all of the upside, but it is about reducing those drastic downturns because most retirees aren't risky enough to earn 50, 60, 70% to recover from a 40% loss.
Right, right. So you talk a lot about that withdrawal period. So then instead of tapping our portfolio, you said that people have a few options here. The first one that you recommend is turn to your savings.
Yeah, and it's not a comfortable thing to talk about, and it's been a conversation we've had to have over the past few months and certainly over the summer. But it is,
Hmm.
one of the reasons why we encourage folks to have a good savings plan anyway, is in case of times like this. I mean,
Hmm.
how nice during a 2008 scenario when the market's down 50%, you have a nice pot of money sitting in the bank just for a situation like that.
Right.
So when we say turn to your savings, it's not depleting all of your assets in the bank, but it is saying maybe reduce or modify your withdrawals from your market-based investments
Hmm.
and look for
Hmm.
some more stable income for the time
Hmm.
being.
Hmm. And part of that should also be weighing your Social Security options. Nolan, we've talked about this often because the sooner you claim, the less your lifetime benefit.
Correct, and the less your lifetime benefit, that's what a lot of people focus on. But during times of market correction, when the market unexpectedly drops
Yep.
significantly, but you have a hard, firm retirement date, it does mean that some other things may need to change, such as Social Security claiming date, or such as a pension start date, or things like that. So when the market corrects and when you have these huge recessionary impacts, it's just important to take a look back at everything and make sure that you have the ability to adjust those plans.
Mhm, mhm. And last on your list here, plan for stable income. I like the sound of that.
Yeah, stable income is probably one of the best things for a retiree to hear. Oftentimes, this is in the form of Social Security or pensions, but just recently we've been using things like annuities and things like different insurance products that have certain guarantees associated with them so that you can maybe predict stable income a few years from now. So when we talk about providing stable income, it's not only considering Social Security and pension, but it's looking for other insurance products or other stable income sources that you can rely on that aren't totally subject to this market fluctuation that we've been experiencing the past few months.
Yeah, this is such an important thing to learn about because it's one of those things that you just have no control over what the market's doing when you retire. But this was really helpful. Nolan, if somebody would like to talk about those other options that you're suggesting people consider, what's the best way to reach you?
So the two best ways, they can either just go to our website and fill out the contact form at the bottom of our homepage, or call us at 616-301-2581, and we'll be happy to walk you through anything that we talked about today.
All right. Nolan, thank you.
Thanks, Aaron.